welcome to our third Other Lives workshop. Today we're talking about embroidery and repair. We took a pair of old jeans that had quite a few holes and applied 3 different mending techniques. We chose a pair of jeans to mend because that's a pretty traditional item that gets a lot of wear and tear, but you can actually mend anything that you have that has a hole or a tear or a rip. We want you to give your clothing a longer lifespan, so please gather anything that needs a little bit of help. Watch this video and then hopefully it'll help you hold on to it for a little bit longer. You can head to our blog for more inspiration from designers like Margeila and Jil Sander. We have some of the materials in our shop, so if you're looking for the gold embroidery thread that we used, please check that out. It's a beautiful, beautiful product. It's vintage, and we wanted to share that with you. So if you need it, please take a look. The materials you'll need for this class are a pair of scissors, some fusible interfacing, a few straight pins, and multiple colors of regular sewing thread. So here I used white, blue, and navy to match the colors of the denim. And for the hand sewing portion, you'll need scissors, a hand sewing needle, and gold thread. So if you're ready and you have all your materials, let's get started. So we're looking at the pant leg and where the pieces that we want to mend. This one has a pretty obvious tear below the knee hole, so I want to repair this section and also a little bit here because it's going towards the seam, and you can see that the seam is going to be a little bit stressed soon. So I'll probably fix about 1 inch in here, and then I'd say 2 or 3 inches here. Okay, so looking at them from the inside, so you're always going to put the fusing on the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, so it's this little section and this little section. And I'm gonna put all of these raw threads on the inside when I fuse it, not to the inside. So I have the fusing here and place it on top. This is kind of great because it's a little bit sheer, so I can see the piece that I want to repair underneath, but I don't want it to show. That's important. So it's going to be slightly lower than the edge of the opening. I'm going to cut probably with 1 inch or 2 of seam allowance all the way around. This one just needs a tiny little bit. It's like almost 1 inch or 2 inches square. So we're gonna cut the extra threads off that are hanging around the inside just to make a really nice smooth surface for the interfacing to be fused to. Perfect. So that's exactly what I wanted. You can't see it at all, but it's there, invisibly holding everything together. Oh, this is gonna look perfect. I'm so excited. What I'm trying to do is fill this in a little bit with stitching and make sure that these are sewn down. And I'm using the natural wear patterns of the denim as kind of my guide. So there's a bit of a white stripe. So I'm just gonna kind of continue that by sewing first with white thread. And then I'm gonna take the other colors that I have, the navy and the gray, and fill those in. I'm gonna use gray. I kept the bobbin white because you're not gonna see it, and also the interfacing is white, so it works out. And I'm gonna try closer to the edge of the tear now. Now now I'm doing the small tear on the side, and I'm starting again with the white thread. So I'm just going back and forth over the tear a number of times, just with straight stitches. So reversing, going forward, going back, and just looking at that, you can tell that it's already pretty invisible. I'm being really careful to trim all my threads super closely so there's no loose threads hanging out to give away the repair. Now we'll start the hand stitching process. So I'm going to start with a light blue thread. I'm making tiny little baby stitches to essentially fill in some of the white space in this tear. Next, I take two threads. So I'm combining a navy thread and the light blue thread to sort of imitate the warp and the weft of the denim fabric to create more hand stitches to fill in a little bit more of the tear. Next, we'll take the gold thread, and we're trying to make visible stitches now because we want to create essentially lines of stitching in the middle of the tear. So I'm trying to make tiny little straight stitches with this gold thread. And for the last final touch, we're going to do the longer stitches and the crosses in a mix of ivory embroidery thread and gold thread. The ivory embroidery thread is actually a little bit thick on its own, so what we do is untwist it and just use one of the plies. So here I'm sort of ineffectually untwisting the thread and pulling it apart with the needle. So I'm just using one ply, which I'm then going to combine with the gold thread to create some beautiful visible stitches. Here's the final effect. So 4 versions of hand stitching plus some pretty heavy duty machine stitching. I love the finished effect. I hope you do too. And I really hope this video helps you give some of your old pieces some love. If you have questions, anything you want to know, let us know in the comments.